What's up, guys? Welcome back to another week of Inside Major League Pickleball. We are just a few weekends away from the third MLP event this season. Can you believe it? And the season championship, of course. Plenty to dive into this week. And with us today, one of the youngest and most sensational talents in the pickleball world. We will introduce her in just a moment. But first, a quick thanks to our sponsors, starting with ProXR, the official paddle of MLP, Knock Around, the official sunglass partner of Major League Pickleball, and Aura Organic, the official nutrition partner of Major League Pickleball. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Mish McMahon, sports broadcaster, one of the voices of Major League Pickleball. Tyson Apostle, he's a reality show legend amongst many other titles he wears as of late. And on with us today, she was the #1 overall pick this season for Major League Pickleball. She has 14 Triple Crowns to her name. She was named to the class of 2022 Forbes 30 Under 30. She's a pickleball national champion. She has many, many, many gold medals to speak of, 3 of which she just won this past weekend. She's just 16 years old. She is Annalie Waters. We are thrilled to have her on this week. Annalie, thank you so much. Hello. You're a legend at just 16 years old. I mean, how do you even stay motivated as a 16-year-old? You've won it all. You've won at every level. You've been a pro since you were 12. What keeps your passion for the sport going?
I just love the sport and always have, so it doesn't really feel like a job if I'm out there trying to learn a new shot or something to make me better. I just think of it as fun, and I'm out there, trying different things, just, trying to maybe find something that can improve my game more, because everybody can always get better. And I think that's something that I've always been told growing up, is that, even if you're the best, you can always get better. So I try to keep that in my mind and have fun with it as I go.
Let's go to, not all the way to the origin story, because I know you've told your origin story a lot of times. Everybody's asking, where did you come from? What was your journey like? I just want to know, how did you get so good so fast compared to, I learned to play pickleball 5 years ago. I'm not Annalie Waters. What are you doing different? Is this all just natural talent?
Some of it. A lot of people say I played pickleball in a past life, so maybe that's something that's helped me. Maybe I've been playing pickleball for 100-some years. You never know.
Okay.
But honestly, I feel like my tennis background and soccer background growing up, just, the soccer helps me with the footwork, the tennis helps me with the strokes. But I feel like something that's kind of made me good from the beginning was just kind of my mental aspect of it. I'm really mentally strong on the court, and I feel like at a young age that's something you have to have if you're going to compete at a top level. So ever since I've grown up, I've just been super into it, super mentally strong while I was on the court, and I think that just gave me an edge over my competitors.
I love that. And I think this weekend you gave us a great quote on the PPA Atlanta. You were very verbal about not wanting to be bullied anymore. You've had enough, and you're punching back now to the bullies. You don't have to name any names, but give us your lens into what that's like, because this sport is unique for many reasons. But you're one of the players that we highlight a lot, because I cover a lot of different professional sports. There's no other pro league that you can see a 16-year-old girl rip winners against 25-year-old men that are 6'4", 220. It's awesome. So that comes with a lot of pressure, but it also comes with a lot of, I don't know, you have to manage a lot on the court of people coming after you because you're the best. People want to beat you for a lot of different reasons, because guys don't like losing to girls, let's face it. You beat a lot of guys just on the regular. So you're so young, how do you manage everything like that on the court, especially when it comes to those court bullies?
Well, I feel like the court in general is just smaller than a tennis court or, other racket sports, I guess. So you're really close to your opponent. So not just when I play, but when everybody's playing, you see some chirping, you see people really getting into it. And, sometimes you don't even mean it to happen, but, you're so close to your opponents, your emotions just kind of get the best of you sometimes. But I've noticed ever since I was younger that it's kind of been a little bit more geared towards me. I'll see somebody from the first point just start and try to get in my head. And I kind of know that they're trying to get in my head, and it almost fires me to play better, because it gets me angry, and when I'm angry I play my best. So So, like, when I was younger, sometimes I'd go over the sideline and my mom would just try to make me mad or, like, say something that maybe the other opponent had never said, but she just made up to try to get me, like, fired up. So I kind of like it when people, give it to me, and I can kind of feed off of that. But it does get annoying when it starts to become, a repetitive thing in every match. Somebody's just trying to get in your head. So, it's not just one or two people. It's a lot of people on tour, but they don't just do it to me. They do it to everyone, and I feel like that's something that makes the sport so cool, especially at MLP. You see it, it just makes the match rowdy and the fans get into it, and it's good for the sport, honestly. It's just when sometimes maybe somebody says something about your character or the way you play, that's when it kind of, gets me upset, and that's when I say, like, that's bullying, that's not part of the sport. So I would like to put a stop to that aspect of it, but I do like the chirpiness of the sport, and that it brings out, especially at MLP, it just makes it more exciting, but just keep the more personal stuff off the court, you know what I mean?
That's fair.
So, I don't know if you gave anything away here on how to maybe topple Anna Leigh, but if they killed you with kindness, you think? Like, if they just were, like, overly sweet and complimentary, would that throw you off?
Honestly, I think it might. It was funny because I was doing it with Ben, and he's like, don't poke the pink bear, talking about me. Like, we were like, if we're sleeping, just let us sleep. Like, you know what I mean? And it's tough, too. Like, I have some really good friends on tour, and when I play them in matches sometimes, it gets in your head because you really like the person you're playing against. So it's hard to, get to that, fiery position. So, yeah, maybe that's a strategy.
Okay, well, somebody will have to try it out and then report back to us on whether or not it was successful.
Now I'm not going to know if people are really nice to me or if they're just trying this new strategy. I'm not going to know. I'm going to be like, did you watch the MLP podcast?
The Tyson strategy.
Well, yeah. I mean, they should be nice to you off the court, right? So on the court, as long as it's within the game,
yeah. I like the
thumbs
chirping,
up. That's
honestly.
part
It's
of it.
just,
Yeah.
keep it to a certain level. But I like it.
I've been on a court with you before, Anna Leigh, and I've chirped at you in fun, and I feel like everyone was laughing.
Yeah.
So
no,
I think you
like
do
that
enjoy
part.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. No. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I think you actually beat me in that. You were
We
with my
did.
mom, right?
We did.
What?
Yeah, you were with my mom.
No, your mom was, because you were in jean shorts and untied Gucci tennis shoes, I think. Is that what you were wearing? And
Maybe, I don't know.
and we were at
club though, so.
That's right. I have it on my Wikipedia. It's on my Wikipedia page and everything.
Your Insta bio?
So
Is that what's on your Insta bio?
yes, that's what's on my
One
Insta
Steve
bio.
Emily Waters in
Yeah.
Gucci sneakers untied.
Yeah, you guys stopped by Legacy to like say hi. I don't even think you guys were planning on playing, and then
That's
you got
right.
like roped into some games. And Leigh wasn't playing because it was way too hot, and I think she was in like long
It's
pants.
in pants, yeah.
So,
Not sweatshirt. Yeah, we were
yeah.
not dressed for the occasion.
Yeah, you weren't. So, but I used that to my advantage. Like I read the situation perfectly, and I was like, "Here's my moment to shine." How much pressure do you feel to stay on the top? Like, is that like something that you think about all the time?
I would say so, yeah. Just because pickleball, like, it's a major part of my life, and I do it almost every day, so I'm constantly thinking about pickleball, and with that, constantly thinking about tournaments and, that aspect of it. And it definitely is, like, this pressure, and it's very different from, because I've seen both sides of it. I was coming up trying to beat the top players at one point, and now I kind of am the top player, and people are trying. So I know both sides of it, and it's different kinds of pressure, because when you're coming up, when you're playing those top players, you can just play really loose and relaxed, and you're not expected to beat them. So you can go in there and play your game. Whereas when you're the top, you're expected to beat that person. So then maybe you get a little tense up, and maybe make the wrong decisions. So I was struggling that a lot when I first became number one in singles. And I remember this match I was playing. I was up 2 games. And then I was up in the third. It was 3 out of 5 when they used to do 3 out of 5 singles. And I ended up losing the match. And I just remember it was because I just felt that pressure. So after that match, I told my parents, I was like, I want a mental coach. So we got a mental coach. His name's Jack Llewellyn. And he really helped me kind of turn the pressure around and focus it more on, I shouldn't have the pressure. They should have the pressure because they have to beat me, you know? Like, I'm number one. I'm supposed to win, and I'm supposed to win for a reason. And I feel like just going into matches, I kind of have a different mindset now of I get to show people why I'm number one and why I should win this match. And I just go out there, have fun with it, and show everybody, you know, why you're so good. And I think just turning that around in my mind, maybe it's not true, but I like to think that. And just you know, that little switch has made a huge difference in my pickleball career.
How often do you meet with that mental coach?
So I call him anytime that maybe like before a tournament I'll do a little checkup if I'm feeling good, and then maybe during the tournament if I can feel something going on I'll call him. He's great though because you know no matter what time of the day I can call him. If it's 2 a.m. he'll still answer. He's a really great guy and he's helped me a lot. But recently I haven't had to use him as much because I'm starting to learn on my own how to kind of deal with it, and in the long run that's what he wants is, you know, to me to be able to do it myself.
Can you give us like an example of like you call him before a tournament for a checkup? What are you saying, and then what is he saying back to you?
So a lot of it is not really pickleball related, honestly, if you can think about that. It's more just kind of like life stuff. What's been going on this week? How have you been feeling? And then maybe at the end he'll give me a couple pointers. But a lot of it's just kind of like life stuff, and that helps me a lot. Just kind of vent on what's going on in my life to a person, you know, who it doesn't see me every day. It's not my parents. You know, I can just kind of tell him whatever I want, and he's going to help me. But he gives me little tips, like in a match. Let's say I'm not playing my best. He's like, envision a really good shot that you've hit in the past. Maybe it was in this game. Maybe it was in the past match you played. Just envision yourself hitting a really good shot. And that's helped me too, just during matches. But I would say like before matches, what really helps me is just kind of relying on the fact that, you know, pickleball games aren't like this. Like, they're not super quick. So you could be down, you could lose the first game, be down 5-0 in the second, and still come back and win. So kind of just starting out and kind of getting into the game, settling into the game, not going in there super nervous, that's helped me a lot. And what I do is I'll talk to my partner a lot before the match, or during the first couple points, make sure I'm really moving my feet. That's something that's helped me a lot too, because if I get really stagnant, that's when you kind of feel the nerves to build up. So if I can move around a lot, maybe do a couple poaches mid-game, maybe I don't make them, but at least I'm moving. So I would just say like moving and thinking really positive thoughts during the match is just like a huge difference. I hear a lot of pro pickleball players, they'll miss a shot and they'll like start talking to themselves and telling themselves, you know, how bad of a shot that was. In my head, I'm like, okay, that's the right decision. Now I just got to make, you know, it's just talking to yourself differently also can give you kind of like that advantage in tricking your brain into thinking you're playing well.
What is it like being a pro athlete at 16 years old of your caliber? Like, where does schoolwork fit into this? What's the college plan? Like, what is your... I have so many questions for you, I guess, but let's start with the first one.
So it's really cool, actually, because I just finished 2 days ago, I finished 11th grade. So I'm finally a senior in high school.
That's so crazy to me.
I'm so excited. But this summer I think I'm going to try to do a couple classes so that I can finish high school by December of this year, and then I don't have to worry about that. As of college, I think I'm going to hold off. As long as pickleball keeps doing what it's doing and I'm still doing pretty good, the opportunities that I'm receiving right now and the sponsorships are just too great to like imagine going to college right now. But college will always be there, so if I want to go back and do college, then it'll always be there, or I can do some online courses. But I'm really excited after this year to just be able to like focus on pickleball and not have to like focus on school too. As for the professional athlete at such a young age, I would say, because this is going to sound weird, but because I was introduced to like this at such a young age, like I was 12 when I actually played my first pro tournament at 11. I don't know if many people know that. But I was 12 when I like became pro. So it's just kind of like the norm for me. It's like what I'm used to. Without it, my life would seem like weird, like what's going on, you know, type thing. So I've just, you know, been introduced to it at a young age, so I'm kind of used to it now. But just seeing the sport grow does kind of change my view on that because it feels more like a professional sport. So I'm kind of having to adapt to that as I go. But, you know, just being able to do it with my family travels, having that support system makes it a lot easier.
Just with the travel schedule, like I imagine, I mean, because you have to get there on Wednesday. You're playing singles, women's doubles, mixed doubles, and then championship Sunday. So that's a 4-day full commitment. Are you going in person to school, or have you switched to home? Like, how does that work logistically? I mean, like as a professional that's working in this space, it's like
Yeah.
a full-time thing for me. I can't imagine having one more thing to juggle on a full-time basis. Like, what does that actually look like? Because I don't think people realize the logistical, challenges of tournaments on site every weekend.
Yeah,
Like,
for
it's a
sure.
lot.
So I think we're traveling 32 weeks this year, which is absolutely crazy. I've homeschooled since 3rd grade, so
Okay.
when I moved to Florida, when my family moved to Florida, we didn't know what schools were great around here, so we were just going to homeschool for a year, and then I was going to go to school, because I had gone to school in North Carolina, where I used to live. And then we loved homeschooling so much, and I was just playing so many different sports. At the time, I was playing tennis, soccer. Hadn't found pickleball yet at 3rd grade, but I was just like enjoying not having to go to school and being able to do other things. And it really worked out because my grandma was a teacher for a long time, so she just taught me at home. It was a great bonding experience for me and her, I guess. But I was just homeschooling through there, so when I found pickleball, it was just kind of really easy to transition into that traveling. And then now with the traveling, I would say I do school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'll play the tournament. I try not to do school while I'm at the tournament because then it's really difficult. I've done it at one tournament, and I regretted it. It just very much like inhibited my performance. Like I'd finished
Learning
math, I'd
physics
finished
and
school. Yeah, like literally, I was doing chemistry. Like I was trying to do chemistry, and then I'd get home and like do labs at my house, and like the chemicals are saying like could cause cancer, and I'm like, great, this is amazing. So
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
it was crazy doing chemistry while being on the road. Let's just put it that way. But
Well,
I
you
realized
have a
that-
new nickname now, the chemist. You're now the chemist
Ooh, that's
in
actually
pro
kinda
pickleball.
cool. I'm
Yeah,
gonna get feline
mixing it
on
up.
your shirt that says the chemist.
Okay.
So yeah, no pickleball. I mean, no school while I'm at a pickleball tournament.
Okay.
But I'll do it on the days before, and then if I have a week off, weekends aren't a thing. I'll do school on the weekends. Try to catch up. Because if I'm doing school, I'm doing school that day. I just like grind it out.
Jeez.
And then I got to do the gym too. So it's just so many things that are being juggled in my life. But I've learned that if I schedule out my whole week, like on Monday, I can get it done. But if I kind of just like I'll do it later, it doesn't get done. So I have to I have a schedule on my phone. We have a family calendar. I just write everything in there for the week on Monday, and then I'm good.
Wow.
Let's hear your week real quick. Let's
So
like
you
a
want
day
to
in the
hear,
life,
like,
but a full week.
Of like a pickleball tournament or a week where I don't have a pickleball tournament?
Let's do both.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do both.
All right, so
So
starting off with
no
the
pickleball tournament.
No pickleball
Yep.
tournament.
Oh,
All right,
pickleball
starting off
tournament.
with
Okay.
no pickleball
Whatever you want.
So usually
Okay.
I'll have flown from a pickleball tournament on Monday. So Monday is usually
Okay.
just like my rest day if I have had a pickleball tournament the week before. And then Tuesday in the morning, I'll usually do a little bit of school. And then Tuesday I'll go to my trainer and do like a recovery session in the gym. And then I'll come back and do more school in the afternoon. And then Wednesday...
How long is that? How long is that? Like, give us like times, like recovery session, and what does that entail?
So all my gym sessions are 2 hours. So recovery or not, I'm in the gym
Okay.
for 2 hours. School, I would say in the morning I'll do school so I'll probably do school from 7:30 or 8 until 11:30, and then gym from 12 to 2. Get back at 2:30, do school from 2:30 to 5. And then I'll eat dinner. At 5 o'clock is usually my end point. I can't really do anything at 5. I can't even play pickleball past 5 unless I'm at a tournament. So at 5 o'clock is my
That's
rule.
your curfew?
Yeah, and then like I'll go to sleep anywhere from 8 to 9:30 usually. Like I go to bed pretty early because I need sleep.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday, maybe I'll play pickleball, maybe not. Usually I don't play pickleball for like 3 days after a tournament though, because I'm just pickleballed out. Which I didn't used to think
Yeah.
could be a thing, but when you play as many tournaments as I do, 3 days off is a good number.
Yeah.
So then Thursday, I'll do some school.
Wait till you're like 45, and then you're gonna need like, if you did a full tournament, you'd need like a week off after that.
Yeah, sometimes from this past tournament, I took a good like 4 days off pickleball. I kind of split it up. But the crazy thing is now with like all the sponsors and stuff from pickleball and like my obligations with like podcasts and stuff like this, like the MLP one, I do a lot of like shoots. I've been having a lot of shoots recently. So like, let's just say Thursday I have a shoot, and those are usually like 6-7 hours a day. So I'll do that, and then maybe I'll play pickleball in the afternoon. So maybe I don't do school one of the days, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday I'll grind the school again. Because like I said, sometimes like my Thursday will be a Saturday. But yeah, I would say it's probably like school, pickleball, school, workout, school, and like that's my day.
So-
Oh my gosh.
How often are you going to the gym? Are you going to the gym almost every day?
5 days a week for 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's a recovery session look like?
So a recovery session is usually like mobility. I'll warm up like on the bike for 5-10 minutes, then I'll do some dynamic warm-ups, dynamic stretching. Then I'll get into like some stuff. I don't really like mobility day. I like to go to the gym and like work really hard. I don't like to like move all the muscles like they're supposed to. So
Okay.
mobility day, just kind of like open up the hips. Maybe I'll do some stretching. Mobility day is sometimes harder than lifting weights though, just because like it's so like you have to really think about like what you're doing. And maybe do some light band work. Just kind of, I haven't moved my muscles in a day, but I just came from a tournament, so my muscles are really tense. Just kind of like opening them up is a good thing. Maybe I'll get a massage. And then I would say before a tournament, my week is usually Monday, regular school training day. I'll play doubles. And then Tuesday, I'll also play doubles and kind of do a training day. And then we'll leave Wednesday. And then I'll drill for an hour and a half on Wednesday before singles day on Thursday. So I'll play doubles Monday, doubles Tuesday, drill Wednesday for like an hour. And kind of work on some single shots, do a little bit of everything, and then prepare for Wednesday. I don't like to train too much the day before a tournament because I just want to be ready and excited for the next day. So if I train too much, I kind of feel worn out. And
Yeah.
like, oh, I got to go play pickleball instead of, oh, I get to go play pickleball type thing.
Wow.
Right. So when you're saying like doubles stuff, are you playing games on Monday, Tuesday leading into a tournament?
Usually. So let's say I have a week before a tournament. I'll do mostly drilling that week. And then that Monday, Tuesday, I'll play
Okay.
doubles. And then that Wednesday, I'll do a little drilling before I go out.
Okay. And when you're on a court, I'm just trying to get the full recipe here because,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
if I
yeah. There's
decide,
a
like,
lot-
at
there's a
some
lot of
point that I
elements.
really want to dedicate my life to it, what what percentage of the time when you're on a court are you drilling versus playing games?
I would say 60 to 70% drilling, and then 30 to 40%
Okay.
playing. Singles wise, I'll probably play more singles. So that's doubles. Singles, I would say it's probably flipped 60, 70% I'm playing games, and then that 30% I'm drilling singles. I don't really drill singles too much, unless I need to work on something.
What is the difference there? Like, why don't you drill singles much? Is it more
So,
just
like,
because you
doubles
got to be
third-
playing the game?
No, I would say doubles, like third shots, are very similar to singles. So like when I'm drilling doubles thirds, it's pretty much like I'm drilling singles thirds because I'll go every which way. The only time I'll really drill singles is ground strokes because that's the only thing you don't really do in doubles. Like you volley in doubles, you play the cat and mouse in doubles, but you really don't hit ground strokes in doubles. That's the thing. It's not really a thing that you do. So I'll usually drill ground strokes, maybe hit a bucket of serves. My serve's gotten better finally. So practice that a little bit, maybe some returns, but they have very similar components. It's just kind of like using them differently. So that's why I feel like games are better for me because I'm using the same shots just in a different way.
Okay. And what does you've mentioned your mental coach, you've mentioned your trainer. What's the Annalee Waters team consist of? Like,
I
who
have
else is there?
a big team, which is great for me because I have like a huge support system, somebody for everything if I need them. So usually when I travel, sometimes my grandparents come with me. 50% of the time my grandparents come with me. So they're there mainly for like support, and it's just nice to, have a lot of family at tournaments. So I would say that's their role. And then my mom obviously is coach and mom and so many other things. So she's kind of like mom in the morning, and then when I get to the courts and everything, she's more coach. And then we call my
Does she
dad.
sound different when she's coach versus mom?
It's so different, but she knows when to use like the different hats. It's crazy. I don't know how she does it, honestly. But,
Okay.
like, in the morning, like she's like talking about breakfast, and then we get to the course, and she's like, "All right, Annalie, this is how you're gonna beat so and so. Like this is what you're gonna do." And it's she just like flips the switch, and she's totally different.
That's awesome.
And I love it. And then my dad, nobody like take offense to this because this is a joke, but we call him Water Boy. Water Boy.
No, I'm my family's water boy too.
Yeah,
That's
right.
yeah.
So he'll like.
It's like kind of a contest for me to see how
Really?
many pieces of luggage I can carry.
Well,
Yeah.
that's my dad. Honestly, it's my dad. So
Yeah,
he'll carry
that's
the
it.
luggage,
That's us.
He'll park the car like 3 times, getting it closer to like the venue if he can. He'll go get me water changes.
Smart.
Like whatever I need, he's there
Aw.
for me. So he plays a big role. I don't know what I could do without my whole family at a tournament. Honestly, I have so much to do on my own. It'd be crazy. I don't know how some people do it. And then sometimes my trainer will come. Not that often though. He's more of when I come home and like he'll send me like programs to do while I'm away. And then my mental coach is on my phone, so he's always there. He actually came to the Atlanta tournament.
Aw.
So he was there in person and he saw me on Championship Sunday and Friday, I think. But Championship Sunday was cool. So yeah, that's my team.
Wow.
Okay, that's the whole team. No dietitian or nutritionist or anything like that.
No, I don't. I've been starting. So my trainer knows a lot about. I think he's getting his nutritional license like right now, honestly.
Okay.
So he sends me like books and stuff on that to read. Recently, he didn't want to get me into that too early, or
Yeah.
too young. But now, like because I'm 16 now, it kind of like our programming changed a little bit, and he's getting me more into like food. And it's crazy. Once you read those books, you don't want to eat anything. Honestly, everything just is like bad for you. There's like nothing good for you to eat.
I know,
It's
especially in
crazy,
America. They lace everything
I know,
with
right?
chemicals and pesticides, and you're like, even vegetables don't feel good anymore. But hey, that's time for another podcast.
No, right?
Yeah, that's Michelle's other podcast.
It's true. I feel for you.
Okay, well, that's so. I mean, the team's not. It's mostly family, and then you have your trainer and your mental coach right now. Is that right? Let's get into some Major League Pickleball specific stuff. You have you were drafted by the Fives, which is a team that has been, I would say, at the forefront of a lot of the press and a lot of the eyes on Major League Pickleball, with Gary Vee as one of the owners. How has it been working with that ownership team?
I'm honestly, I don't know how there could be a better team in Major League Pickleball. Like, I'm so thankful that I got drafted by the Fives. Ryan Harwood, the GM, he's kind of like taken our team under his wing, and he's just amazing. I love him. He's a great person. Even when I'm not playing MLP, he still contacts me. He helps me with a lot of things. So he's just a great guy in general, and I'm glad that I got to know him through MLP. So thank you, MLP, for that. But I feel like our team as a whole is just so cool because we have so many different personalities on our team. And then we have like Gary Vee coming to the events, and we have Ryan on the sidelines who's super energetic. We have my mom coaching, and then there's all 4 of us. So there's just so many components to our team that like makes it exciting.
So the breakdown of your team is James Ignatowicz, Hayden Patriquin, you,
Right.
Leah Jansen. So when you first get the group together, I imagine as the number 1 overall pick, you had a little bit of a say in, or at least advice as to who they draft next. Yeah, go ahead.
So Ryan FaceTimed me and was like, I just, picked you, or I got connected through MLP, and he's like, I just picked you number 1 overall pick. I was actually in Vegas eating lunch. I had no idea. So I get this FaceTime call, and, we're trying to figure out who to draft. So I really helped pick I picked James. I think James was the 2nd pick on our team. And I kind of let him pick the guy, his male partner, because obviously I had a little say in it, but I thought, it would be good to give James like the pick because I don't want him playing with someone he doesn't, want to play with. And he was like, I think Hayden's a good option. And I was like, yeah, because not only are you comfortable playing men's with him, but he's really good at singles, and Leia and Hayden have played mixed tournaments together. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, he would be the perfect guy on our team. So I kind of let James, do his thing on the men's side, but I was like, I agreed with him on that, and then I picked my woman. I picked Leia. I have a really good relationship with Leia on and off the court, so I was, really happy that she was still on the table and I could pick her. But I think a big thing with MLP and teams is just making sure you're comfortable with your teammates. So I really wanted to make sure that everybody was comfortable with each other on our team, and I think we did a good job of that.
And you guys have been close every event that you've been together. Thinking back to even Mesa, a couple of heartbreakers there, but coming down to the Dream Breaker, that's where, in my mind, when I flash back to Annalie Waters and my favorite moments of Major League Pickleball is like when you're hitting clean winners against Julian Arnold or whoever, it's just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Or no, who was it? Was it Tyson? Who did you get
It was
last?
Tyson,
right?
In that Dream Breaker.
Yes, I remember.
I played Dylan in the match before that. I was always going against the guys, and
Yes.
I always have. Even in the last MLP, I always want to go against the guys.
It's you choose that, correct? Like when they're choosing matchups in
choose
Dream
that,
Breakers.
yeah. Well, I don't have the pressure. The guys have all the pressure.
Yes.
So I'm like, put me against Kyle, whatever.
I freaking love it. But you guys have been so close. You have yet to eclipse your first championship. Now we have San Clemente coming up just 2 weeks away. What do you think it is about your group that has it in them this particular go around that you guys can make that jump this event?
Yeah, so I feel like our team has the ability, we had the ability to win every single MLP this season so far. And something that I think's happened to our team is not everyone on our team is playing well at the same time. Like the last two events, everybody was playing great, but we never together. Like we were never all playing really well together. So I feel like, one tournament, a couple of us were playing better. The second tournament, a couple of us were playing better. So it's kind of split. But I feel like this event is when we're all going to kind of gel and play really well together. So, I feel like it's our time and everybody is just feeling really good. We're all really comfortable with each other. I feel like we have the strategy down now, and it's just, time for us to kind of gel together and for all of us to play. All of us just need to play 3/4 of our best, and then I think we can win this one.
I want to ask one follow-up before on our last topic of conversation with you choose playing against the guys. What does it feel like when you rip a clean winner against a Tyson McGuffin, against whatever dude opponent is across from you? Just like with your background, with being a young female, what does that moment symbolize to you?
It's amazing. Well, so when I practice singles, I always practice against guys. So I feel like that's one thing where that no fear, want to play against the guys comes from, is just, even since I was little, I always played singles against guys. So going into the MLP Dream Breakers and when I'm playing against guys, I just have a lot of confidence out there, and I feel like by going out there and just picking to play against a guy, it automatically puts pressure on them because they're supposed to win a majority of the points, and I'm out there, I'm like, no. I'm like, so I feel like my strategy is just to kind of pull the guy to the net and then go for that passing shot, and I'm just very confident in my passing shot. So when that happens, it's crazy because I know if I hit a winning passing shot, my team's gonna go ballistic, and I'm gonna get to go over there and share that energy. So just the feeling of being a 5'6" female against sometimes a 6'2" guy and just straight up passing them, they don't even get a paddle on it. That feeling is just crazy. And I remember against Tyson in that Dream Breaker, I did the chest thing. That was an out of body experience. I don't even remember doing that. I just remember being so excited and it was just crazy. I'm getting cold chills now just thinking about it because it's just so electric at MLPs. So when you do something like that, the energy you get from the crowd and your team is just unbeatable.
That's awesome. She blacked out. She doesn't remember it. That's awesome.
Have you guys, because the last event as a team is coming up, have you guys done any different prep leading into this to make victory more certain?
So if
or
we win this,
changed anything that you've done in the past?
Yeah, so I think if we win this next one, we'll go into the top 2 teams. But we have to win it. So I feel like we have a team group chat going, and I feel like just the texting that's been going on in that group chat is just we're all more serious. We were always serious, but now we know we have to win to be the top 2 teams. So I feel like we're just we're ready for it, and we're kind of hyping ourselves up for that moment. As far as practice and strategy wise goes, because there's the PPA before that MLP and they're at the same facility, all of us are just staying and practicing we're just gonna stay through that next week
For
and
the
just
week.
practice for those couple days. Like, I think it's like 4 days. And Leia is not playing the PPA San Clemente to get ready for MLP. So just from that aspect of it, our team is just more serious. I feel like everybody's like, all right, we can do this. We all believe we can do this. Now it's just time for us to execute. So we're just going to, get out those kinks because we haven't played together in a little bit after that PPA. And then we're going to go in and we're going to kick some butt. We're going to win. I can feel it.
Okay, she's calling her shot.
It. I'll be out there all week too. If you need a water girl, just phone call me over.
She's got her dad.
There, but
All right, fine. I really just wanted to secretly come to practice, but okay.
I'll let you come anyway.
Okay, good. Sounds good. Then I won't have a role, which will be even better. I can just watch.
Let's go to there was a lot of buzz at the PPA
Charlotte.
in Georgia. Charlotte. That's right, Charlotte with Jack Sock.
Sorry, Dit.
Why did I say it? They're both
many
East Coast. Come on.
tournaments.
Yeah. It's in Charlotte. And there was a lot of buzz building up to it. Like, how will he perform? We'd seen him a little bit in Las Vegas. Everybody was excited to see him and just see how he could do, like a top level tennis pro in his prime, moving into pickleball with some pickleball experience. And you partnered with him. How did that happen? Like, you had to have known something about his game to
So
partner
I
with
saw
him, I'm
in
assuming.
Vegas,
Ah.
and we played some rec
Okay.
games. I didn't play against him in the tournament that was going on, but rec games I played with him, and he was really nice to me from the beginning. Super nice, genuine, really nice guy. So I just liked him from meeting him in Vegas, and I had played with him, and I knew he had a ton of talent, and he could be really good. And he already was really good just in Vegas. So I was like, if I ever need a partner for a PPA, let me. He asked, he was like, if you ever need a partner for a PPA, let me know. And Ben wasn't going to the Charlotte PPA, so I needed a mixed doubles partner. So I was like, I'm gonna ask Jack if he wants to go. I know he lives in North Carolina, so I was just excited to try something new. So I contacted him and I was like, yo, do you want to play the Charlotte PPA? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So we didn't just go into it blind. We practiced a couple days before. We practiced 3 days before. Got some mixed doubles sessions in, and just from the practice, I knew that we could do well. But I didn't know a tournament's very different from practice. So I didn't know how, if he would get nervous at the PPA. I know he's played tennis, but pickleball's a little different. I didn't know how our opponents would react to playing. I didn't know kind of what was gonna go on. But I was excited to play with him. He plays really aggressive, so I was just excited to go out there and rip balls, no matter what happened, and just go out and have fun.
Yes. So let's talk about that, because you and him, you win. You incredible. Everybody's like, oh my gosh. But he didn't see near that success in his singles run, or his men's doubles run went pretty much the opposite of that. What was the factor for you and him together? Why did that work when the men's double pairing didn't work and singles was a little bit of a struggle?
Yeah, so I feel like the singles day was his first day getting into a pickleball tournament, so it was good for him to just kind of, break the ice, get into a tournament, see what it's like before he played mixed. So I feel like that singles run helped him in our mixed doubles because it was the first day, so he kind of knew what a pickleball tournament was like. Also, mixed, they're all so different. They're different sports, honestly. It's crazy, the strategy that goes into it and how different they are. And in mixed doubles, the guy can really attack the female. And a lot of females don't the aggression side of it, especially in mixed doubles, because even some females who play in women's doubles and crush the ball in mixed doubles, they play very different. So I feel like he just kind of went out there and was like, I don't know what pickleball strategy is, but I'm just going to hit it as hard as I can. And that was kind of his game plan, and that was kind of what I told him to do. I was like, dude, don't worry about the dinking stuff. Don't do that. Just hit the ball as hard as you can, and let's go.
You're like, I'll clean up what you speed up. Thanks. Just go ahead.
So yeah, literally, I was like, speed up any ball you can anywhere. I was like, I don't care. That's how we're gonna win. It's just being aggressive.
It's awesome.
So we kind of did that. We did a lot of shaking and baking, and we just kind of had fun with it. We were talking. We were super into it, and I feel like just the energy that we had was kind of intimidating our opponents. So I feel like we not only intimidated them with how hard we were hitting the ball, but also with, just having fun out there. Because there's nothing worse than playing a team who's having fun and laughing and they're beating you. It's like, it's very annoying. So that we were kind of like trying to like do that. We were like, let's just have fun and like see what happens. So it was just like a super low pressure kind of day. We were just having fun out there ripping the ball. And I think that really helped not only him to feel more comfortable, but honestly me to feel more comfortable out there on the court.
Okay. And then did you watch his men's doubles at all?
So I was there. I watched a couple points, but I was warming up personally for my women's doubles, so I didn't really see too much of the match. But I know him and Tyson had been practicing a couple days before the tournament too. And I know he was actually playing. So the two guys he was playing were the guys that me and Jack were playing the days prior, like in warm up for the tournament, and they're like Jack's best friends.
Oh, okay.
So it was probably weird for Jack to go out there and play his best friend's first round. So I think that might have played a part in it, but I don't know. Maybe he was nervous after doing so well on Friday. There's so many things that could have gone into it. And pickleball's weird. Sometimes things happen super quickly, and you can't really do much about it. But I didn't watch the match personally.
Yeah, I mean,
so I don't know.
In pickleball, things happen to me quickly every single time I show up anywhere. I'm like, I'm done for the day. I'm out. I guess I'll go home.
Super easily? Is that what happened?
No.
He's like, I don't know. It all just happened so quick. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, I don't remember. I
blacked out.
Yeah, my perspective was, and I just watched the stream, but I watched pretty much everything that Jack Sock had done, and my perspective was that you let Jack Sock be Jack Sock. Like, you were like, do what you want to do. Like, there were moments where he was kind of getting you out of the way to hit the ball as hard as he could, and you let him do it. Like, let him do it. Where I feel like him and McGuffin, like, there wasn't really like that like communication of like, take what you want and hit as hard as you can. I'll back off in these moments. So there were probably moments in the middle where they were a little more confused or maybe a little more timid, not knowing, versus you just were like, just go out and rip it and be wherever you want to be.
Well, men's doubles in general is sometimes you see that in guys, like, they're very, they want to take that middle ball, and sometimes it can be a little confusing, especially to like a new team. But me and Tyson also play very differently. Like, Tyson's a scrappy guy. He, is very consistent. He doesn't make many mistakes type thing. And as of me, I'm just going to go for something and get in those hands battles. So maybe Jack and Tyson just weren't on the same, game plan as Jack was like, I'm going to go hit the ball as hard as I can. And maybe Tyson was more of, no, we're going to grind this point up. I don't know what their strategy was going into it. So that might have played a role too. And just, they had different strategies going into the match. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I think Jack might play a couple more tournaments, so I think we'll get to see some different stuff.
He teased MLP. He got on Twitter and he started tweeting pickleball stuff.
Yeah.
And I think he put a poll out there that was like, should I play Major League Pickleball and this and that? And do you think we're going to see him?
I don't know, but I would draft him. We did pretty well. I would draft him. I think it's just up to him and what he wants to do with tennis and pickleball. Like, if he wants to go all in quite yet, or if maybe he is going to play MLP, but it won't be this next season. It'll be next year. So I don't know what he's going to do with that. And it'll be interesting to see how he gets drafted, if he gets drafted Premier, if he gets drafted Challenger. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there too. But he did a pretty good showing in the mixed doubles with us. So, who knows? We'll see what he decides to do.
How do you then balance? So with Jack, you're like, rip it and grip it, go all out. A player like Ben Johns is more of that methodical, grind you out. Obviously, he can get in the hands battle as good as anyone also, but more of a patient player because he can be. Yeah. So how do you balance that when you have a guy partner that's more methodical like that versus somebody that's like, let's just go after everything and not let it take away from your aggressive game?
So I feel like both guys take a lot of court, which was something that was easy for me to adjust to because I was used to playing with Ben, who takes a lot of court, and Jack also takes a lot of court. Both pretty big guys. So that was very similar. On the other hand, I feel like me and Jack kind of played mixed doubles as women's doubles. Like, we were kind of out there, like playing more like a women's double style. And me and Ben play more of like that traditional mixed double style. So I feel like I really wasn't out of my comfort zone in either one. It was just sort of like, all right, today feels more like a grip and rip it day, and the next day feels more of like a dink, forehand, cross court, speed up at the guy kind of day. So it's just like I said, that different strategy going into it and making sure you're on the same page with your partner. So I will say that me and Ben, when I came back and played with Ben, our first game, I was a little confused. I was like, all right, yeah, like this is I'm playing with Ben now. This is what I kind of have to do differently. So it did take like that game adjustment, but after that, I'm so comfortable playing with Ben. I've been playing with him for a year, and I love playing with him. He's best in the world, obviously, so it wasn't too hard to adjust to him just hitting winners all the time. But yeah, it is a little bit different because Ben has a couple different shots than Jack does. They both kind of have like their strengths and weaknesses are different, so I kind of had to adapt to that. But in the end, I feel like it was more just grip it and rip it, and the other one was a little bit more wait a couple more dinks and then go for it type day.
So let's say Jack Sock goes all in on pickleball. Who's going to be your mixed doubles partner?
Well, I don't think he'll ever go all into pickleball. I think he said he wants to be that bridge between tennis and pickleball. So right now, me and Ben have been pretty good together, and I love playing with Ben. So as of now, I'm playing with Ben the rest of the year, and 2024, is that right? Wow.
Yes. It's 2023 right now.
Yeah, so
next year's 2024.
Next year, probably be playing with Ben again. So.
But
Me and Ben know really well. Ben's known me since I was like 12, so we just have like a really cool relationship. So like when I'm on the court with him, it just feels super low pressure, and
he's got a million siblings, so I'm sure you just feel like a sister to him. But when it comes to women's doubles partners, you're mixing it around. Is Mom coming back at some point? And if she doesn't, how do you navigate that decision moving forward?
So I'm trying to get my mom to come back. I don't know what her indecision will be, but I do know that she's going to play at least one tournament with me coming back. We were thinking about maybe doing like a nationals thing where she'll play like nationals like every year with me for like as long as she can, just because it was kind of like our first ever big win together, and then we repeated it the next year. So it's kind of like holds a special place in our heart. So we might do something like that, or she might come back and play all of next year. As of if she ends up just playing one tournament and then she's done and does something else with her pickleball life, I just like mixing up the women's partners for a couple reasons. One, it keeps it fresh when you're going to tournaments. When you go out there with one partner, maybe you'll play a little bit differently than you do with the other, so it keeps it fun and entertaining, not only for me, but for the crowds and, people watching. It's really interesting to see different matchups. So I like that aspect of it. Also, when you play with the same partner, people can start to form strategies on how to beat you because they're seeing you repeatedly. So, like maybe one tournament I'm playing with Catherine, and this is working, but then I go play with Anna, and it's not working anymore. Or the opposite. This maybe works with me and Anna, but it doesn't work against Catherine. So it's hard to kind of form those strategies. Whereas if I was just playing with one person for 3 years, they can just watch film and kind of see where we struggle, and it just gets repetitive. So I just like mixing it up. So maybe 2024, who knows what'll happen? I don't know. Maybe it's just crazy. Like pickleball, you see all these new people coming into the game, especially on the men's side. You see a lot of guys coming in, and then the women you can start seeing, but that's a little bit slower. So, who knows? Maybe in 2024 there'll be 100 new women, and I won't even be playing. Like, you never know.
What if the new 12-year-old wonder kid comes in? Are you mentoring that little girl, or are you trying to get rid of her ASAP so you can remain on top
maybe
forever
she'll be
and
my
ever?
partner. I say that to a lot of kids I meet. I'm like, never know. Maybe I'll be your partner. I remember with Simone, like when I was younger, it was kind of that thing where, maybe she knew I was going to be good, maybe she didn't, but I like met her when I was younger and I was around her a lot, and she was, the GOAT of that time. So it's kind of crazy because you do meet the people that you end up playing against. And I remember Kyle Yates said to me one day, he was like, maybe for my birthday I asked for a lesson from Kyle Yates. So he came over to our side and gave me a lesson, and at the end he was like, maybe you'll be my mixed doubles partner one day. And it ended up being true, and I played with him for a year. So it's just cool how stuff like that happens. And earlier this year I was playing singles, and this girl who I played first round said, I've watched you for, 3-4 years now, and I've just, you're my idol type thing, and I ended up playing her in singles, so, maybe I'll end up playing with her one day, or maybe I'll play with Ben's younger sister one day, who knows. But I do know there are a lot of younger kids coming into the game, and once kids start training at a young age, it'll be really crazy to see what pickleball ends up becoming.
How does that?
So much can happen.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. How does that give you more purpose then beyond just winning? Than to see younger kids looking up to you to recognize your position in the sport, your age, your just everything that you've brought to the game so far. How does that broaden your perspective when you see little kids looking up to you in that way?
Yeah, it's just so cool, especially at tournaments when they'll come up to me and ask for autographs or pictures. Because when I used to go to pickleball tournaments, there were no kids. Like, literally, I was the only kid at a pickleball tournament. And now I go and I see so many. So it's just, it makes me happy to see all these new kids coming into the sport. And not only, are they coming into the sport, but they're saying I was the reason that they came into the sport, which is something that, growing up I never thought would happen, honestly. And now it's happening, and it's just really crazy and hard to believe. But I try my best to grow the game in as many ways as possible, and this year kind of my goal is to figure out how to do that even on like a higher scale and on a higher level. So maybe you'll see some stuff about that coming out.
That's cool.
And yeah, I want to touch on that a little bit because I watched you move around the Legacy Complex in Arizona, and you were so gracious to all the kids that came up and wanted to take a little bit of your time and wanted to, let you know that you are their hero. And you played games with everybody, you hit the ball with everybody, and yeah, never lose that.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean,
I'm like tearing up thinking about it because it makes people.
It doesn't feel like work. It literally feels just like I'm growing the game, and I want to get as many kids into the sport, and playing with their parents and meeting new people. It's just like it's a great outlet for kids to do and just get to have fun with it and their families. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's brought my
I can
family
see how much it
together,
touched them.
so-
Yeah, I can see because that's my local place. So I see kids there all the time that still talk about the time that you hit balls with them or you were there. And so, yeah, always keep that.
I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah.
That does it. We want to let you go. We don't want to keep you too long. Annalie, thank you so much for your time and for everything you've done for the sport. We've loved watching you and will continue to love watching you. And good luck with everything coming up. Anything else before we go?
No, just thank you guys for having me. This was a great podcast.
Yeah,
Yay.
our pleasure. I didn't mean to get emotional right at the end. I didn't
like
plan
seeing
on
the
it. I was
soft
just
side.
like,
You've got daughters. You
No.
can tell.
I do have
See?
daughters, yeah, but I even play I play with the local kids at
Aw.
Legacy, and I know that they still talk about
That's
that
so
moment.
cool.
So, yeah. So, okay,
nice to
that's
have.
it. I will. I definitely will. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next week. See ya.